Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to be making some cheesy oven baked mac and cheese. Alright, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for joining us, and let's get started. Okay, so for our ingredients, we have whole milk, sour cream, mozzarella, elbow macaroni, cream cheese, half and half. We also have Velveeta, cheddar cheese, and butter. And as always, the exact measurements of these ingredients will be listed below in our description. All right, we're going to head over to Ricki. She's getting our water salted for our pasta.
Yeah, so I just used some kosher salt. You don't have to use kosher salt. That's just what we had on hand at the moment. And while the water's boiling, I got our cheeses shredded. I used half of that block of mozzarella, and I used the whole entire 16-ounce block of the cheddar because I'm going to use half of that for the sauce and the other half to go on top. So that was a pound of macaroni that just went into the boiling water, and I'm just stirring it. And I'm going to cover it. And while that's cooking, I'm going to get started on our cheese sauce.
So the fun part.
Right. Literally my favorite part.
Yeah.
So I have a stick of butter. This is salted butter as well. You can use unsalted. It's just, the preference of mine. So I'm going to add in a half a cup of flour. Now when you make your roux, make sure you cook that raw flour taste off of your flour because you don't want it to taste like flour. So I just stirred it, make sure it didn't stick, make sure I got all the lumps out. Make sure you keep this stuff moving though, because it will burn if your pot is up too high, or if you just let it sit, it will stick and burn.
And it'll help to have a non-stick pot, whatever you're using, as well. That aids in the whole process. So
right,
yeah.
And we'll link a couple in the description for you guys to check out if you want to invest in a new set or whatever. So this is my milk. I used about 1.5 cups. And then I'm going to put in about 1/2 cup, maybe more of half and half. It really just depends on how thick or thin you want your sauce. Obviously, if you want your sauce more thin, use more milk. If you want it thicker, use less.
Yes. It's a matter of preference.
Right. I like ours in the middle somewhere. So.
Right.
And you'll know your roux is done by look and feel, really. It's going to be smooth, no lumps. And you can also test it with the back of a spoon. Dip a metal spoon into the sauce. Run your finger down the back of it. If it stays separated, then you know your roux is done. If it, runs back together, then you need to cook it a little bit more.
And let's just say too that you don't even have to use a roux if you don't want to. You can just use melted cheese with a little bit of milk, however much milk you want, and butter. Some people just do that, but we just prefer to do a roux. It's just nice. So
this is the cheese I shredded earlier that I'm adding in. Once I get that in and then I stir that, I'm going to add in some Velveeta. Now, friends,
our Velveeta crew.
Right. I know some people hate Velveeta and I know some people love it.
I know. It's like night and day. That's okay. We're fine.
You can literally replace the bag of cheese that I use with any other cheese you want, as long as it's, an 8-ounce bag of cheese or 8 ounces of shredded cheese.
Or you can shred it yourself.
Yeah.
Like we do the other cheeses. She just prefers to use the shredded mozzarella.
Velveeta.
Thank you.
Yes. I prefer the Velveeta shreds to the block as well. I just like the way it melts better. And I won't have to cut up, cubes of Velveeta because it's like impossible.
There's a lot of them though, so you have a lot more lumps than you would, if you just use the shreds.
Right. So. And it's like almost impossible to shred that cheese. It kind of just clumps to the back here. Grater.
Right, because it's so soft. That's true.
So I used 4 ounces of cream cheese, and then that was about 1/2 cup, probably a little bit more, of sour cream,
which adds to the creaminess, which is great. But you don't have to use sour cream. But what you say, Ricky? You know when it's what?
I know when it's not in there.
Okay. She's like, I know it's not in there. So yeah.
But I like to melt my cheeses down to a certain point before I start putting in my seasonings. It's just preference. I know it's all gonna melt down, but I don't know. I just feel like the seasonings
incorporate better.
Yeah, because there's no lumps
cheese
or anything in there for them to get stuck on or whatever. But the only thing I think you should be careful of when you're doing when you're adding your seasonings in is salt.
Definitely.
Because some cheeses are saltier than others. So just, taste it, make sure it's not too salty or whatever. I used Lawry's, garlic powder, pepper, Cajun seasoning, and parsley.
And she uses lotion too, y'all. We just gonna say.
I promise. I promise.
We always say, oh, our hands are so ashy.
Right. Ashy hand all in the camera.
Because we wash our hands so much when we're cooking. It's like, okay, you're not gonna keep doing that. So, hey, if y'all see it, this is real cooking going on, okay?
Right.
Oh my goodness. Well, carry on, Ricky.
Right, I just want to say it about the seasonings. The parsley doesn't have any flavor at all. It just adds color and presentation, kind of like paprika. Just color and presentation, and makes it look really pretty.
Now I love this Cajun seasoning we use. It gave it a little bit of a kick, kind of woke it up a little bit. So if you try that, I think you'll like it.
Yes, especially if you like spice. If you're like a spice fanatic, it probably won't be spicy enough for you.
Right. And you don't have to use the brand we use. You can probably use any other Cajun seasoning, I would imagine.
Right. Because Slap Your Mama and Tony Chachere's are the only two I can think of, off the top of my head. And they both have a spicier version of their seasoning. So.
Right.
So now the pasta's done now, so I'm just draining it. The pot that I used has a cool top that will lock onto the pot,
which is so convenient.
And you can use a colander, whatever you have. I never rinse my noodles when I make macaroni and cheese, and I just don't. Preference once again. And I'm gonna put a little bit of butter in the noodles, and I use olive oil for my pan so it won't stick or anything. I just felt like there was butter in the noodles and in the sauce, so it would have been fine if I just used oil.
Right. And this mixture makes plenty of cheese, so you can use this. We tend to like to use some of our recipe and then save some for later. We know we're going to use it anytime soon, within the next couple of weeks or so, or a month or whatever it is. So we'll freeze some of this sauce. You had about how much left, Ricky?
About a cup, maybe a little bit more. And I didn't put it all in at once because I want to keep the mess down, because I didn't want to have burnt cheese all over my pan once I finish cooking it.
Oh, right.
And my oven is preheating to 350 right now.
Okay.
I did not mention that yet. So once I get it mixed and I have as much in as I want to, I just flatten it and I put the remainder of that cheese on top. And because I didn't separate my cheese in different bowls, there was just like a little bit of mozzarella left in there, but it's fine. It actually looked kind of cool when it was done. But yeah, you can use whatever cheese you want to use on top. That's what's the fun part about my mac and cheese. You can use whatever cheeses you want to use. You don't have to use what I used. And I know some people like to use like expensive cheeses, and we've done that before. But I just find that it tastes good either way.
Yep, just as good.
And now I'm cleaning the sides of my pan. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. I just took a paper towel and wiped the sides so there wouldn't be cheese on it. And then I'm putting parsley on top to make it look pretty once it comes out of the oven. Yes, and I think I cooked this for about 30 minutes at 350. This is about 10 minutes into the cooking process. I just thought it looked cool.
Yep, not quite done yet, but get in there.
Look at the bubbles.
Getting there. And that's done.
Yeah, so we hope you guys enjoyed this video because we enjoyed making it.
Yes, we did.
Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when we post our new videos. Alright, guys. I guess we'll see y'all on the next one.
See you later. Thanks for joining us, guys.